Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast.
Yeah.
Jack, who we got in the building today?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I say pretty much on every episode that we have a special guest in the building, which we should probably pivot away from saying a little bit because, all of our guests are special. But today we really do have a special guest in the building. This is an episode that actually means a lot to me, and we'll get into why in a little bit. But with no further ado, we have an artist in the building who is a definite veteran on the local Montreal scene here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going back quite a ways here. Singer, songwriter, rapper, soca artist. She does it all, ladies and gentlemen. With no further ado, we got Natasha Marie on the episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you feeling, T? What's up, man? Welcome to the Hustle Podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here finally, dog. I've been watching you guys grow and shit.
Yeah, pause. It's
out the gate. Oh my lord.
We're starting already. We're off to a terrible
I'm
start.
sorry, everyone.
It's this episode is actually long overdue. I know that we've been talking about doing this for a long time, since the old studio, actually.
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like everything in its own time. So I feel like it's perfect timing, man.
Yeah, look, we got to host a birthday party over here
That's
as well. So
true,
that
in the
was
same
pretty
room.
epic. And then the podcast right after. Everything in due time.
Everything in due time, man. So how you feeling, T, man? What's up?
I'm good, man. I'm just out here fucking 40 and shit.
Damn.
It's weird, eh?
Wow, out the gate.
weird.
That's where we're
I'm
going.
40, dog.
Out the gate.
I'm actually 40.
Oh, fuck.
This is 40, y'all.
Oh, it's good.
It's coming for us too, though.
Yeah.
A few years.
I'm around the way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
we're basically there.
You know?
You know what I mean?
But like, I know for the young ones, they're gonna be like, damn, she old. But listen, I'm seasoned. Because like, when I started off in this game, I was like, in high school, right? I started rapping in
Lol.
high school. I was like 15. And then started doing shows at like 18, 19, YouTube, whatever. But now that I'm at this point, I feel so free. Like, I feel like I don't owe anybody any explanations. Like, I've proven myself in several areas. So now I just feel like I can. So I will. And that's it. You like it, you don't, whatever.
Age is just a number. You know what I mean? You can be 40, you can be 50. But with ball is life. You feel young at heart.
Is that our new read? Did we just do a
I
spontaneous
have to do a
read?
plug for Ball is Life. Shout out to Ball
Shout
is
out
Life.
to Ball is Life for sure, definitely. But you know what? It's actually interesting 'cause we were talking on the way up here about just kind of letting the conversation flow organically. So I feel like that you brought up a cool point that I kind of wanted to talk about anyways.
Yeah.
Seeing as you brought it up. Seeing as you are 40.
Yeah.
How do you
About it.
feel like you kind of relate to sort of the younger artists on the scene? Is there would you say that there's a divide between the new generation and our generation? Because I know you're active, you're out there, you're doing shows, you're constantly on the scene. Is there a divide present?
I think there's a divide, yeah, because the things that are important to them coming up are really not so important to people like us these days, trying to be gangster, needing to prove something in the rap world or whatever. Like, I don't care about all that. There's a divide there. But at the same time, what they don't know is that, like, 40 is the new 30. 30 is the new 20. If they haven't reached that point yet, then they don't know what that's about. So I look old to them. We are the old heads. They're the YNs. But, like, really? A lot of
Who's
us still
we?
got it, bro.
We is a French word.
Whatever.
Which mean we are the old
Whatever.
heads. We is a French word.
But we
That's
still
what I know.
got it, is what I'm saying. And they don't know that. They won't know that till they get here. And then they go, yo, I was calling 40-year-olds old, dog. What the hell?
Lol.
But you know what?
But we were too.
Well, exactly. That's what I was gonna
If
say.
we're being
That's what I was
honest,
gonna
Well,
say.
you
not
know what I
me.
mean? Like
I never
when
hated
we
on people's
were
age.
a certain, age, I feel like we didn't have the same understanding and perception
Or
of how
respect.
time
Yes.
flows.
Yes.
For me, it's just your understanding of time is better and deeper as time goes. I feel like the way you see and understand how time actually works and moves gets more accurate, quote unquote. I think that's really the biggest difference. I mean, outside of like my knee hurts more when I play basketball now than it did 20 years ago. But outside of physical things,
You're not going to
like
put that in
you
your
know what I
bars,
mean?
though. If you don't
Might.
tell them,
I
they
mean, I
won't
might.
know.
I'm the everyday rapper.
Like,
I'm
did
the real
I throw my
person
back out
rapper.
sneezing? Yes, I did. But
You
like,
know what I
you know
mean?
what I mean? I can still
Like,
ball up though,
straight
if
up.
need be.
Straight up.
But I think it's a cool point because there is something to say for experience, for wisdom. Because to kind of build off of what Basis was saying, like I'll speak for myself. And this probably better than anybody else. When I was in my mid-20s, even into my early 30s, like I was kind of a dick. And like, you know, like, no, straight up, like, I was kind of a dick. And like, the whole gangster thing too was so important to me to the point where like, I only started smiling in pictures recently, bro. Like, that's how ingrained this shit was in my head. So like,
Deep.
there is something to be said for like life experience. I
Yeah,
feel
like-
like if I was to enter the pool again as an artist, it would be so much different now than it was back then. So it's kind of cool to see that you're still going and to see that like you're bringing sort of this level of wisdom with you now to where like we know we can do things right the first time as opposed to having to learn, you know what I mean?
It's evolution as a person. You know what I mean?
It
That's
is.
exactly what it is.
100%. 100%. Let's double back a little bit because obviously me and you have a history. I think we're just gonna go ahead and you know address the elephant in the room for people who don't know.
I don't see any
waiting
elephants.
for you to,
Yeah, I mean,
go
it's-
into that.
it's gonna have to
'Cause
be
I
me
got
that
a
does
couple
it, right?
questions.
I'm sure you do, basically.
Hold on, can I
what I mean?
vape in here?
No, you can definitely vape. And by the way, Basics comes with the fire questions. I do have to commend him on that. You come
Thank
very well
you.
prepared. You know what I'm saying? I
Thank
know
you.
I'm
I
always jerking
appreciate
you
that.
off pause on the episode, but we're happy to have Basics on the show. And I don't mean literally, but I might mean literally. So it is what it is.
Jesus. Yo, edit this out,
No,
fam.
leave it in.
Oh my God.
Definitely
We're
leave it
just,
in. Yeah,
we're
yeah,
it's a snowball
we're just
right now
building
is
it.
what's
Just gonna
going on
exit.
right now.
We're building on the pauses, but
We're gonna need to do a highlight
Montage.
reel
Yes.
of all of the
Yo,
all the times
beer
text says
clickbait.
questionable things on that. Yeah.
Beer clickbait.
It's gonna
What?
take a while.
But so for those of you who don't know, Natasha Marie is the mother of my children. What I should
Yeah.
say is we have two beautiful boys together.
Yeah.
She's not just the mother of my children. We have two sons together. So obviously me and her have a very what's the word I'm looking for? Detailed history. Detail's not the word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Intimate history. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So and we'll definitely get to the parenting stuff a little bit later, but the reason I wanted to say that was because I wanted to allude to the fact that I kind of seen your progression
Exactly.
from its inception.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm talking about the Miss T days for people who don't know. We're going all the way back to like 07, 06,
Yeah, exactly.
09, like you know what I mean? So the first place I think I literally heard of your music, shout out to Sean Keys, who was going by Nastiness at the time, and that dude. They were working out of RBR Studios in St.
Wow,
Henry at the time. Yeah, we're
RBR.
going way back. And
Wow.
and you had did
Shout
a
out Peso.
remix for MC Mario.
Yeah.
What was the song? I can't remember the song.
There was actually two. One was by Akon. I wanna make love right now, and there was another one.
No, but it was the other one that I heard.
Damn, it was with Kesha before Kesha was even a thing.
Why is this bothering
It's
you?
Yeah,
just
I know.
confirming how
I know.
we are of a
Man, I'm
certain
old, bro.
age
Yeah.
bracket.
Little bit.
But long story short, I mean, you know, you kind of pivoted from, so that was kind of, for me anyway, that was kind of where I first heard of you musically. And then I started seeing the YouTube covers because back in like the early 2010s, like 2011, 2012,
It was a thing.
YouTube covers were really like starting to take off. So I remember you had did a lot of those and stuff like that. So listen, how did you kind of transition from like doing YouTube covers to deciding like, yo, I full-fledged want to be like a singer, songwriter, full-fledged artist? Like, what did that look like?
Opportunity came knocking. I let that bitch in. I had a couple people who I didn't know at the time. They approached me as like nobodies, you know. I didn't know who they were. I want to name drop too if it'll come to me. Rodney, he does like coaching now, so the evolution's pretty dope. But he used to go by Big Brick, and he was working out of Red Rhino Studio.
Red Rhino
Right, with Drex,
Studio.
with Drex
You know,
Silver.
I used to
yeah.
record that with Drex too.
Yeah. Mike Ramundo, if you want to be specific.
Yeah, but honestly, no. Shout out to Red Rhino. That's a big name to drop
Yeah,
in
if you
Montreal
know,
hip
you
hop
know,
history.
bro.
Fact.
Yep.
You remember the building behind the Bell Center that used to be there? It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
condo
for
now, but
sure.
it used to be like all artist spaces and studios.
Yeah.
Red Rhino was out of there, and then RBR took it over, and then I think Red Rhino might have took it back over. Anyway, but
He
yeah,
went
shout out to
upstairs
them, yeah.
after. He was Drex Studios
Drex,
upstairs.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, Brick hit me up on Facebook and he was like, yo, I love your style. Like, there's not too many females out here rapping like that. And the things that you talk about, you're not afraid to go there. And I was like, yeah, well, I believe in being honest, and I believe that there's gangsterism in telling your story, especially if you're coming out on the other side of it. Like, if it's all emo rap, I'm not here for it. But if you can talk about where you came from, but be like, I'm not there anymore. Now I'm here. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm trying to do. I think that people, respect that. So he respected that. And he was like, I got to get you in the studio. So he was working on an album called Underground Railroad. And I featured on like 2 tracks on that. One is Be Who You Are. And I forget the other one. But yeah, In the Booth, I think it was called. So that's kind of where I jumped into the studio. But that wasn't even my first time in studio. My first time Shout out to Aaron Young, bro. I'm dropping govies now. This is like a cousin of my old friend from high school. He brought me to the studio in Ville St. Pierre, and he was like, "Yo, I got a Mickey Fax beat."
I feel like it's one of
Mickey
Nah,
Facts.
bro, and he's
Wow,
coming to
full
town, so
circle
shout
or
out.
what?
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, we jumped on the incredible. I'm incredible. Yeah, I'm incredible. So I wrote some bars on that, and they were like, "Tasha, whoa." And I was like, "Yeah, you think it's cool? All right." I didn't really see too many females rapping at the time, so I just kind of went with it. But low key, I was a singer. I'll always be a singer, you know? So like I went with what was calling me and what people were asking for, but even then I was still trying to find a way to incorporate the singing. So I'd like sing my hook, rap my verses.
Like I remember seeing you doing those Vegas shows and everything.
Yeah.
You had that look. What's that Roger Rabbit movie?
Jessica Rabbit,
Yeah, you had
that's
that Jessica
funny. Is
Rabbit
that
look, you know,
pinup
in it.
look with the
Exactly.
pink hair. Yeah, yeah. I rocked that for 4
How
years.
did you get into doing those Vegas shows? Like,
I met a link in Montreal. He was filming the UFC fighters. So he came over from the Bell Center, met him in a club, and he was just like, I was really like promoting my stuff to anybody, you know? Like I didn't care. You never know who might be
exactly.
who. So
Yeah, you
they,
don't
oh,
know who you're gonna run
what do you
into.
do? And I'm like, music. I'm not gonna tell them I work a dumbass job. I'm just like, I do music. Oh yeah, sing me something. So I sang him something. Yeah. Kept in touch. And then not until like 2 years after that. So we're talking on Skype 2 years. Finally, he
Skype.
tells
Jesus,
me,
you gotta stop saying
know?
things that remind me of
So
my
MSN
sorry.
Messenger, bro.
So
right?
sorry,
Oh my
AOL.
lord. No, it's okay.
So yeah, like 2 years after feeling like I know him and I know what he does, he tells me like, oh, I also find talent for the Will Edwards show on the Vegas Strip. So
That's
we're looking
cool.
for artists. If you can get your passport ready, I'll fly you down. And so that
That's
happened.
fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
The low key. I also. I mean, I booked people
You know
for
what I mean?
Vegas.
I
So
was
if you
like,
want to get your passport
this
ready,
whole
I'll fly
time,
you down.
You know?
you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
You and a couple friends. I'm like, eh. He's
And
like,
that
oh,
was the
it's a
first
tax
time that you
write-off.
had an out of Montreal musical experience.
Yeah. That was
Word
it.
up.
That was it.
How old were you at that point?
I was 27.
Word.
It's not even like I was young then, but I was like, I felt like I didn't know anything or anyone. So I felt like I was 22. Why are you laughing?
Because I was just saying in my head, I'm like, you was already old. Like,
Ah,
really?
shut up, dog. I was old, I guess, but like in the music world, I didn't know shit. I
No,
was like,
he's
you
still
know,
young in the music world. I
dropped there like
want
a
to ask you
sponge.
some. Before the 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 covers, before all of this stuff, like you say that you're a singer first, and I totally resonate with that.
I know you do.
You know what I mean? Because I was singing before any other thing. What was the not the inspiration, but what was the inception of your singing? What was the thing that when you were first, what was the first song you sung that was like, oh, somebody heard you singing, your mom, or what was the moment where somebody was like, or you were like, yo, hold up, I can sing. I can sing, not just sing along to the music. I can sing.
I had my dad's boom box, okay? This is the one that would record side A, side B. You could record the radio. It had an internal mic. When I figured that part out, I was singing in my bedroom. I was singing to like Mariah Carey, Brandy, Boys to Men, and everything. So I would record myself and play it back and be like, eh. But I sounded mad young. Like, I was
Yeah,
like
for sure.
13. I sounded like I was 11. So I kind of like discovered somewhere around that age that, okay, when I sing that part, I sound like Mariah. Wow, that's cool. Let me see what else I can do. Um, and then it's not until I was like 15, 16 that I would sing around my little cousins because I really didn't want anyone to squash my dream. Like I'm super protective and I knew that I was on a journey and it required a lot of experimentation. And I know that I can get discouraged if I let too many opinions in. So that was my baby. I
So
didn't
you
tell
went in the
anybody.
cocoon for a few
Absolutely.
years.
Track 1 on my EP. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, but outsiders hearing my voice, my God, when was that? In high school, drama class. Drama class. We
So
had
it
to
was
do
for
some
like a
acting
play?
and stuff. It wasn't even a play yet. We were just doing like skits in class, and one of them we had to lip sing, and then I killed that. And I was like, okay. And then I tried something else, and then my drama teacher, who was also a musician in a band, he was like, sign up for the school play. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not promising you anything, but I need everyone to audition, so that's why I'm telling you to audition. But the way he was saying it to me was like, you're in the school
Yeah,
play.
it's a lock. Yeah.
Just show up to the audition,
Just sign the
please.
paper,
Yeah, it's a
please.
write-off.
I
Yeah,
need
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
it'll look
Exactly.
away if I just put you in there and no one saw you audition. And so to my surprise, one day I was sick and I came back and we're on like chapter 3 of the play and I'm trying to catch up because we're about to do rehearsal. And I look and there's a part that says, I think my name was Zoe. Zoe sings At Last by Etta James. I was like, what? I look at him, sir, like, you're making me sing in the play? And he's like, it's not a discussion. So he was really good at like pushing me. So it's my drama teacher who really told me like, you have something. And after that, kids in the class, in the hallway, were just like, are you Natasha? You're in grade 11, right? Can you sing that song? Can you sing Alicia Keys?
Because that's one of my favorite songs, by the way. At Last. That's like, I love that song so much.
It's a true test for a singer as well.
That's an insane
like,
song.
you know
to
what I mean?
sing,
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like, that's like literally
especially
like,
for a young vocalist too. I feel like that. So that moment when you were on stage and you sang it, it was kind of like a confirmational moment.
Yeah, every rehearsal.
for
I'm like,
sure.
can we just skip that? No, we're all waiting for you to sing it. I'm like, oh my God. So like they made me every single rehearsal. Then we performed the play like 3 times, twice for the senior campus, once for the junior campus. Shout out to Laurel Hill Academy. And then that weekend right after that play was the Canadian Idol audition. So what did I go there and audition with? At Last.
yeah, you were already warmed up.
I was warmed up, but I was still hands in the sweater, standing there. I didn't know how to, it wasn't a thing, I was still very much in my cocoon.
for sure.
So yeah, that's where it started, I would say.
Tell us a bit of the Trini influence in the music. I know we got a new song, No Small Small.
Yeah, man, no small. Wow. So I got a name drop again. Stems, dog. So this is who you introduced me to.
I did, yeah. Shout out to Stems.
For those who don't know, Bungie Garland, Carry It, big tune for 2025, produced by Montreal Stems.
Shot Town, you know what I'm saying?
Specifically,
Real shit.
so he actually pulled me in for like background vocals for a couple projects. I remember the kids were small. I think like our first one was like still in the little car seat. You could just carry him around in the car seat. Tech was like, yo, can you bring him to the studio with you? I was like, all right.
Did I really do that? I'm such
Yeah,
a
at least one
asshole.
time. But you watched Ezekiel and then Zay was small. So we're like, all right, take him. So I started doing like background vocals for some like Trinidadian stars. Drew Pati, who's more known in the chutney world. Soca Elvis, Terry Gajraj, who's still performing to this day. This guy's been touring the world just doing chutney soca music. So there's a whole like fan base, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So he was kind of getting me into there with the backgrounds. And then I think I went over there a few times like, okay, I want this to be a single. I came with my own soca idea, changed my mind, looking for more. These are songs that I never released, but I performed them a bunch of times. I had all these ideas and I thought it could go far. He is very professional and works with bigger stars. So what I thought was hot, he'd be like, it
Do it
could
again.
use some work. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I got that, like, it's not good enough. Another layer. I need 3 more layers. Different harmony. Here's another melody. I'm like, bro, like soca?
He's a real musician. That's the
Yes.
thing. And like one thing I will big up Stems because you know what? Like at the end of the day, as an artist, especially as a singer, even as a rapper, because a good example would be like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is very known for he'll bring the most famous rapper in the studio who thinks they're the greatest rapper of all time, and he will make them do
Re-record
one
the
ad-lib
sound
over
of the
47 times. You know what I mean?
The
Until
T
it's
on that one
perfect.
word,
Yeah.
like because I don't like how you're
Exactly.
enunciating the
Right.
sound
Exactly.
of the
Yes.
T.
And I feel like in the moment as an artist, you're probably so frustrated.
Yeah.
But what you're not realizing is you're being taught work ethic.
Yep.
You're being
Yeah,
taught
100%.
perfection. You're being taught to not
100%.
just
Yeah,
accept
absolutely.
something because
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. What else
So,
do I
yeah,
hear? What else
exactly.
do I hear? The
Exactly.
song's done. No, it's not
I definitely feel like I've gone through that as far as like when I did a commercial with the government and just having to do takes and send it in and then get told, can you say this part like with a smile, but not too happy though?
done. Yeah.
Just like, what does that mean?
Just like a half
I
smirk.
don't
You have to
understand what that
smile,
means.
basic.
Like,
Smile with your eyes.
You're doing the take. You're like, yo, straight
Too
up.
much
it's like a
teeth.
4-hour process to record a
Yeah.
30-second commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like
But-
insane.
But the reality is, if you were to actually get really into the entertainment industry, that's
how it
what
is.
it is.
Yeah.
That's how it
bro.
is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
That's it.
So yeah, shout out to that. I mean, I think it's a good learning experience to you to kind of piggyback off of what Steve brought up with the soca and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you grew up in a Trini household, so that's where the influence comes
Really
from.
came from, yeah.
What was the decision process sort of behind making the transition? Because for those of you who don't know, and this is my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like you've transitioned completely into soca now.
This
Yeah.
is what I wanted to get into too, because I'm super curious about that, especially seeing, like you said, the evolution and the different sounds and
The different looks.
Because I mean,
dark
she
R&B and the
she's been like a
popish and the
rapper. She's been an
rapper,
R&B singer, and now she's on the soca.
No,
So
one
darkish
question
pop
too.
and
Is
different.
there any
like,
backlash on that side? Like just
Yeah,
because
we were
you,
gonna get to that.
and that's what
No,
I'm
bro,
thinking.
no.
get to
I
that.
actually had one fellow rapper hit me up when he saw that I dropped No Small Small, and he saw how it was like people were going off, and he was just like, "It was a pleasure to work with you, Natasha." And I didn't know how to take that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what does that
"You
mean?
think I'm
Like
done? Is that? Oh, okay. I like that he thinks I'm done. Good.
Oh, okay. It was
I'll
like
sit on that."
you're no longer in the lane. Like I'll see you.
I
You ain't
wasn't
getting no more
sure.
free
type
courses no
type
more.
thing.
Wasn't sure how to take it. I was like,
Okay.
okay. But I'm not making up the rules. I'm literally just going with it. I'm going with what I feel to do. And I could tell you, having done hip hop for so long and now jumping to soca, what the major difference there is, there's so much freedom and celebration within my own culture as soon as I touch soca. Because the love for soca, like if you're a soca head, you're a soca head. You're a soca-holic.
Yeah, that's
You wake
true.
up,
I
you play
will say
soca to
that.
work to wake
Yeah,
up.
it's true, bro. You know it when somebody's driving down the street,
Yeah. Yeah.
all four windows down.
8 in the morning, dog. It don't matter. Yeah. It don't matter. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love soca.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So what I kind of got bored. I got bored of hip hop. I got bored of being the lady of whatever people would say. It didn't do anything for me. As you term use, it doesn't get my dick wet. It doesn't get my dick wet anymore. Sorry. We'll edit that out. But like it just didn't get me going
We don't
anymore.
edit anything out.
All right, well, shoot. It didn't do much for me. I think I got bored and I was like, "Okay, what next?" And I feel like I hit a ceiling a little bit. I started to like realize for me personally, there wasn't much money in doing hip hop music.
Oh, there's no money.
That's it. And then I did a soca show here and there, and then I got so much love, not just from the Black Trinis, but from the Indian Trinis. Like it blew up, and there was a demand for it. And then I was invited back to the same event year after year. I'm like, hey, so like I can't keep doing the same songs. I guess I'm gonna step into the soca world more. I didn't feel like I needed permission to do so, but I also felt really supported if I decided to do so. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on that right now.
So hip hop and R&B aren't off the table.
No.
You're just kind of going with how you feel.
Yeah,
I like it.
and I love it.
I
Even
like it.
performing soca, it's fun, dog. Like crowd control and
Yeah,
like interaction.
you definitely tried to convert me to soca, like, and not as an artist, but like as a listener for years, and it just never took with me because I'm just not a happy person by nature, I guess you could say. But I think that
It's kind of
it
a
is
prerequisite.
a little bit,
A
a
little
little bit,
bit,
a
yeah.
little bit. But I think it is a natural progression for you, especially to kind of for the hip hop specifically, because especially female rap has kind of taken a direction when we all know where it went. You know, WAP, it's wet ass pussy,
Wanted to
right?
get into
And
that.
you're so far away from that, like as a
Yes.
person. Like you've always been like a free spirited, person who's like just positive vibes, positive vibes.
True.
So
True.
I really don't think that hip hop at this point was really being a good fit for you anymore. You know what I mean? It's in its current form.
Yes, I didn't like what it brought out in me. I was like, this is the only version that made people see, but there's so much more
Just
to me.
all ego.
It's
really.
all ego and braggadocio and MF this and cuss that. And I was like, now I got kids. I reached that point where I'm like, okay, I'm about to be 40 and I'm still rapping. Like,
Well,
what does this tell my kids?
That's the same conversation we had last time. I told you
Exactly.
that's why I'm not into hip hop music anymore. Basically, it's that exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. Did you said that you felt like limited or you had reached a cap or
Yeah.
etc. as far as like hip hop and that, and then going into soca, it kind of feels like an unlimited space.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you not think that you can bring that into the other? Because I resonate with what you said. Like I'm just doing the kind of music that I feel like doing in this current moment. But that this freedom of self is what brought this into the artistry. If is what
Yeah.
I'm gathering.
Yeah.
This is not the other way around.
Right.
So you can bring this back into the other music.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am working on an album right now. And so the whole question is, what's it going to sound like? And I really want this to have all the best elements of me, the parts I feel like I haven't gotten to show yet. the parts of me that people miss. They're like, oh, I love when you do jazz. Like I want to see if I can incorporate the soulful vocals.
Yes.
So
Take us on a journey.
exactly. But I want
Yes.
that Afro beats
Sonic
influence. I
tapestries
want
or
that Soca influence. I want the drums. So and being mixed too, right? Like
I was gonna get to that.
I want it to sound kind of
Mixed.
mixed.
yeah, I
Like
agree. I agree.
but
It
the
should be a
parts that we
reflection of
do
who you are.
incorporate has to sound authentic too, because it's like paying homage to, what I love about soul music, what I love about soca. So yeah, we're gonna play with that.
Well, I kind of want to pivot off that because we did talk a little bit on the car ride way up here. I can't speak right now. We spoke a little bit on the car ride here. In terms of whether it's hip hop, whether it's specifically soca, because I think it's definitely more of an Afro or Caribbean, obviously, art form. Being a biracial artist person, have you ever felt any sort of has there ever been sort of this need for acceptance or a rejection of acceptance due to being biracial? Is that something you dealt with in the music?
100%.
And you're more black presenting than I am, so it's an interesting.
But I also get, people thinking I'm Spanish or
Yeah.
Arabic or
For
like I
sure.
get all types.
Depending on what you're wearing or how your
How
hair
your
is.
hair is, bro, changes
for
the whole
sure.
face.
How your hair is could
Bro.
change
Yeah.
the
Dog.
whole
Then there's how I look in
conversation.
the winter versus how I look in July,
Straight up.
So yeah, what was the question specifically?
It was just essentially like, how is being biracial in a, let's just be honest, an Afro dominant art form?
Yeah.
Has it been something that you had to really deal with in any facet?
Struggles, obstacles, or maybe positives.
Or positives as well? Yeah,
Okay.
I'm open to positives.
I'll start with the positives.
Yeah.
There is culture shock. There is the surprise element. We didn't know it. Oh my, you're Trini? Then when they hear me start to speak with the accent, girl, you's Trini for real? Yeah, don't let anyone tell you it's anything else. So yeah, I've met a lot of surprise and then like support and nah, you're one of us. You come with us now. And I was like, this feels nice. The negative part with the soca, I haven't really heard that or seen that yet. So far, there's no comments that are like, what's she trying to do? What she thinks she doing? Da, da, da. I haven't seen that. If there are out there, they're quiet and they're watching, and that's okay. I like that. But Sign Dragon, shout out to Sign Dragon and Popsicle in the city. What's up? He said something to me. He said, I think the hip hop prepared you for the soca. I said, come on, sir. How you think? And he's like, because with the rap, it's very in your face and I don't care what you think. You're gonna get this work. And with the soca now, it's like you have this fearlessness and you're already comfortable with the stage and you're already comfortable with the crowd. So it's not hard for you to pull them in. And I was like, you know what? I used to think they were two separate things. Because I remember telling him, I hope these people over here accept that I'm over here now. I hope these people understand that I have a history and a past with cussing and being all up in your grill. But I realized they're a lot closer together than I thought.
Yeah, I think you're, you have a certain skill set that kind of like delineates you from a lot of other females. Like, shout out to Miriam Sassi. I just seen her perform yesterday, and the thing about her, like you guys are MCs, though you're singers and you're other things. Like the fact that you are a master of ceremony, that you understand the alchemy and energy and all of that thing, I feel like that drips into all of the things that you do as an artist. So I feel like it gives you a different edge. So I'm very curious to see you explore that in the music and etc. You were talking about like female difference in hip hop
Right.
and the sound, the message
Right.
and stuff.
Let's get to it.
You're a mother of, you're not just a mother. You're a mother, like you said, you're 40 now. You're also a mother of 2 boys. Do you feel like a responsibility of your content and your messaging, of your presentation, of your branding, of how you carry yourself, of how you're moving, especially as your boys are now going sooner than later into teenagehood?
I mean, Ezekiel's 9, but he's 14.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And he's
14.
rapping and freestyling.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
So he
so
might end up being an artist.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
Both
ways.
right?
Yeah.
Straight up. So, how
So-
does that?
I've got 2 boys, but then I'm also kind of like stepmom to 3 girls as well. So now I feel like it was easier with the boys because if they saw anything or heard anything, all they could really say is, my mom could rap. My mom's cool. Like, I feel like being a boy mom as a rapper, that worked for me.
For sure. Because with boys, like, it's a lot easier to just, even if they hear something inappropriate, he's a boy, you're just like, that's not
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
I
Don't-
understand.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Well, whereas with girls, it's a little
Yeah,
different.
now
you know?
they're watching, they're listening, and I want to make sure that I'm not setting a bad example. It all comes down to, if you're gonna do it just like this. If you're gonna do it, make it look cool. You see how I'm still classy. You see how I'm not showing everything. You see how, but are you listening to the lyrics? What am I saying? Isn't that a teachable thing? So like, yeah, I'm mindful of them, but it doesn't really stop me. If anything, it keeps me in alignment, because I never really had the urge to go do the WAP music. As soon as it started coming up, I was like, ugh. We were together back then. I'm like, bro, I don't like this pressure that I'm feeling, that, like, I have to do that now to be considered, and the plastic surgery and all that. So I think it was a good time to step away from hip hop.
This episode of the Hustle Podcast is brought to you by Pink Bandit Vapes, with 2 locations in Ganawage, one on the 138 and one on the 207, to serve all of your alternative tobacco needs. Now, anybody who's ever watched an episode of the show or who knows me in real life knows that this thing is surgically attached to my hands at all times. The only place I go for all of my vaping needs is Pink Bandit. I'm talking about devices, coils, juices, disposables, and even zins and shisha. I'm talking about all of your alternative tobacco needs. Pink Bandit has got you covered. Tell them the Hustle Podcast sent you. Back to what we were saying, essentially. So, I mean, we were talking about parenthood a little bit, and what I wanted to ask you, again, I will preface this with, of course, I do know the answers to all these questions because we
course.
lived through it together to a certain degree. But how did motherhood affect your relationship with music, with being an artist? I know that it presents certain obstacles for sure. So, how did it affect that relationship with the music?
To be honest, I don't really feel like it has. It hasn't, because I feel like if I were doing more risque music, I would be more concerned, or I should be more concerned.
Yeah.
But I feel like nothing really changed. If anything, they're involved in the process. Like, they hear everything before it drops.
Yeah.
I play it for them in the house. If anything, I get their opinions. Young kids' opinions these days matter.
They won't lie to you. That's
They
the one
won't.
thing.
They
They will
won't.
tell you the truth. They
Yeah.
will tell you
Mommy,
the
that
truth.
song is so catchy. I love it. Oh my
So
gosh.
deep.
Yeah. So
Working with
like,
teens and stuff, I
if
totally
anything,
know.
they
Yeah,
they
they'll tell you the
fuel
truth.
me. They fuel me to do like really well in whatever I do. I don't think there's been any challenges. No. And they're very musical. So if anything, like around the house, we're musical all the time. Even the girls, we got some singers in the house now.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
boys too could carry a note. So I'm like, this will be fun. Like, I've given them my old Casio. Here, here's something to keep you guys busy. They're all like doing a band thing in the bedroom. So like, yeah, I don't think it's posed any challenges really.
Okay. Well, how would you say that motherhood then changed you as a person? I think that's the real question. Is this
Yeah.
the more pertinent question, to be fair? Because for me personally, parenthood completely revolutionized me as a human being. I
Yeah.
am not the same person I was
It
before I
does
had
that.
kids. Like I'm
does that.
unrecognizable.
Yeah. Um, I will say there was a challenge. The one challenge is trying to juggle the responsibility of taking care of your kids and doing these shows and doing studio. Like the other day, Zeke's like, "Oh, mommy, you got a 6-hour session?" I'm like, "No, it's 4 hours, but it takes us an hour to get there, an hour to get back." I explain it in a way that they understand. But yeah, that's the only thing that really poses as a challenge, making sure you lock down the babysitter, 2 weekends in a row, whatever it is. How has it changed me as a person?
Yeah.
Made me Okay, I remember when I was pregnant with Ezekiel, and I was so happy to like drop some baby weight and get back in the studio and get back to the stage, and then boom, I'm pregnant again.
That was my
And
fault.
I was like, like it hurt. Like it hurt because I yearned for that part of myself that I would get to be, right? And I could water that seed when I'm in the studio, when I'm writing, feeling like I can't, feeling like it's right there, but I can't reach it. And your time will come. They'll get a bit older. It'll get easier. That was hard for me. So as soon as I could get back into the booth and do shows, I felt like I could get back to myself. So yeah, and it makes me want it more, because I remember all those nights when I just wanted to do it and I couldn't do it. Now I'm like,
Interesting.
It was hard.
I got a sitter at home. I'm the freest butterfly in the room. I can't wait to hit the stage. Like, so if anything, it just made me fight a little harder for what I really love.
For me, like, and I do definitely want to talk about parenthood a little bit, because again, it is the elephant in the room, and I think that people do. And you know what? Honestly, we had this conversation last week, I think, but like off camera, kind of, I don't know what to label it. I guess we could just say the hip hop community or the urban community, whatever broad term you want to use to describe it. But I think it's super important to talk about these things as adults, especially for this community, because it's not really talked about. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to be on some ignorant shit. Like we're human beings at the end of the day. For me, like, listen, and the funny thing
Talking
is,
about like co-parenting.
That's
yeah,
exactly it.
exactly. And I was laughing when you were talking just now because I'm just thinking in my head, like, you literally got pregnant again immediately.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there was no pause. It was
Yeah.
immediately. So it's like, yeah, I kind of feel bad for that, but it worked out in the end. We have two beautiful boys. You know what I mean? In terms of the co-parenting, I mean, for me personally, a large part of the reason that I stepped away from music was because as a father, you're the provider. It all falls on your shoulders. So for me, the most important thing in life at that point pivoted from my own dreams and my own self
Yeah.
to being a financial provider for not only two boys, but for their mother at the time as well.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of why for me personally, music, you know, it kind of took a back seat, and I'm okay with it. It was hard for me for a long time. I did resent you for a little bit because
Yeah,
of
no,
that,
that's
straight
real.
up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? In the end, it all worked out, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? As far as the co-parenting thing, we don't have to go too deep into obviously our relationship. It's private, but I mean, it was hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
When we first split, it was hard for me. I mean, I'm sure it was hard on your end too. It's not easy to manage. We're in a great place now, but it
Yeah.
definitely took some time for us to
Yeah.
get there. You know?
Well, yeah, let's talk about it. I grew up seeing single parenthood, and I told myself I wouldn't be a single parent. I would make sure that I picked the right person. But life does happen, and so it was a really tough decision to make. Like, am I really about to downgrade and move to an apartment, dog? Like, and just
Um,
me and my boys? Like, I never wanted this for myself. But I knew it was temporary. Um, so it just made me grind a little harder. But the co-parenting really worked out well when we both got someone else in the picture, because now there was less stress on you to do everything alone. Shout out to Vanessa. Oh, Vanny's a real one. What's up, Vanessa? Um,
So, sorry.
and it was nice because I knew that they had another female in their life when I'm not around, one that I can trust, and that takes time to trust the person that your ex is with around your kids. You guys, I think, were rocking for a couple years before I met mine, right?
I think it
Roughly.
was about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, shout out 1-4 Dab. What up, babe?
Yeah, he'll be here shortly.
He'll be here shortly. So yeah, and then him coming into the picture with his own kids, and then Tech being like, "Who's this dude?" I'm like, "Yo, you can find him online. He's not hard to find. His Govey's there. You check him out." And then the kids were like, "No, he's cool. He's cool. He's cool." And they had nothing but good things to say. Same thing the other way around. It was like, "Oh, Vanessa's so nice." So I was like, that made it a lot easier, and then that solidified even more respect, because it's like, thank you for choosing someone dope for our kids, and vice versa. So it's awesome
yeah,
just
it's an
seeing the
interesting
two of
dichotomy
them.
for sure.
Yeah, seeing the two of them have like this bro thing, and then me and his girl work together. So like we're doing our thing, and
That's
it's
cool.
cool. That's something I grew up seeing. I did not see fighting in the house. The ex comes in, and there was never drama. And I know a lot of Black people could attest to this. There's just something about like you could break up with someone and still be invited to the cookout. Like you're not dead to us. We have no reason to hate you. Everyone gets along. You'll come. The kids would love it if you would come.
Yeah, for sure.
So I grew up seeing
That is how it
you
works in a
know?
lot of Black households as far as the
Exactly.
mixed dynamic of families, and they
Exactly.
broke up, but because they have 3 kids together, you still come through, and now he's with the new
Yeah.
family, but they're all invited.
Th-
And
thank
now we're
you.
45 people
Exactly.
in a
That's
4.5 with a
And
backyard. And
Thank
you know what? It's healthy for the kids. And that's the
Yes,
most important
so
thing.
healthy.
sure.
It's the most
Yeah,
important
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what helped us.
Communal. It's communal. It's
Yes,
very
exactly.
inclusionary. It's
Exactly.
very
It's the
everybody's
village.
in the pot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
I think what helped us in our particular situation was it wasn't really a messy breakup. It
No,
wasn't a situation where it was like one of us was really still holding on,
no.
because that could have got messy if that was
Yeah.
the case. But it was just literally something where it was like, yo, we both kind of realized that for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it just can't work. We're great as friends.
Exactly.
We're great as
Yo,
friends.
homies,
Like
lot
we're
of
great as
homies.
friends. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But in
Sometimes
terms
that's
of
how it
being
is.
together,
Yeah.
I guess we were too different.
Too
I don't know.
different.
There was a lot of
Sometimes that's how
stress
it
of young
is.
kids, but
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the end, it all worked out.
And people
I'm
grow
happy. I'm
sometimes.
happy for it.
Sometimes people grow together, some people grow apart. And I think just being honest about that and not having this animosity, actually makes it easier for the two of us to heal and start over, individually. So like, yeah,
So no diss
kudos to
records.
us.
That's what's up.
No diss records, dog.
I definitely made one song.
made
though.
one iffy song.
I made one song. I made a song. I did make a song, but it wasn't a diss record. It was just kind of like explaining my side of things. I never released it because I wasn't gonna do that. But like,
Something tells me Tash called you up. Yo, what the hell is that track?
No,
you
no,
dropped?
No, I'm
she
like,
never
those
even heard
aren't
it.
facts. Those
She-
aren't
she
facts.
never
Oh, so there
even-
was another one.
what do you mean another one? What
Tech
did you hear?
Luciano
Hold
with
on,
the
hold on,
TED
because maybe
Talk.
I
I
did
heard
show it to you and I
something.
don't remember.
I heard something, and
Pulling
I was like,
receipts.
I never held you from your kids.
Oh
dog."
no, okay, I know what you're talking
And he
about.
was like, no, it was the point of view, like for other men in similar situations. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. But that make me look away, dog. Make sure
tea,
people
the
know that
tea.
that's not what it was.
We're
dog.
here for the tea,
There
guys.
was no tea. There was no tea.
Like
That
I'm
was
gonna
pretty much it.
like go back down memory lane. Like,
Yes.
I remember back in the day when I had the restaurant.
Yeah.
We were rolling through.
Yeah.
I remember you hit me up. Yo, going out with Natasha Marie, dog. Like you were. I remember you hit me up. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Then you guys started doing those New York trips with
Right.
Boogie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Boogie. Rest in
Shout out
peace,
to
man.
Boogie. Rest in
Like,
peace.
I had different. We met him together
In a different way.
in a
yes.
different way,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I can't trust this dude because I slept at his house and I saw how he was moving. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah, I know the
Yeah, you
dude.
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
so.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
when you guys linked up and you started making those moves in New York, you met up
Yeah.
with Pete Powers. And
Yes.
I was.
the guy, I think Boogie, he hooked up a video and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
what happened with that? I never got the full story, really.
You want to or shall I?
All right, I'll give you a little piece. We went down the first trip. It was for you to sign the contract.
Yeah.
I didn't sign until the following year.
I remember this time.
Yeah, and recording out of the basement type thing, and producer got some good beats. But I started realizing because he had a car accident, he was like hopped up on these painkillers, and I think it's cool to talk about this because pills are a thing these days,
The
and
thing
young
is,
kids are into pills and things
Those
too.
pills ultimately ended up taking his life. which
They
is
did. They
super
did
sad. It's
because they're
sad.
super addictive, and it became a part of his lifestyle. And I'll never forget the day.
Became his whole life.
Yeah, I was trying to record. I was on the mic, and he was behind me at the computer, and I'm doing my verse, and then he's supposed to pull me up, and he doesn't pull me up. So I'm waiting, and then I turn around, and he's like falling asleep
Just nodding out.
at his keyboard, and I was like, no. Then we hopped in the car to go to some event, and we're on the highway, and he's swerving, and I look back at Tech in the back seat, and I just look at him like, our life is in this guy's hands. So I saw the signs really, really early on. I didn't trust that situation, but
That's deep.
yeah, drugs definitely could take people's lives. So I'm happy I saw it early, and then I got out of there quick.
But
fast.
that being said, that was some of the best times in our
It
life, though.
was
like going to
driving
New
to
York,
New York.
because for me,
yeah.
I've always been obsessed with New York, and
Yeah.
like no, straight up, and like
You're an old school. You're an MC's MC. You're an old
Exactly.
school, like
Exactly.
the
You
Mecca.
rap like a New York
Exactly.
rapper.
Mecca.
I'm a different person in New York City. Like I'm very much different. Like
Go
I'm
back to Jersey.
Yeah, literally, like
Go back to
yelling
Jersey.
shit at people. Like I'm very different in New York City, but no, it was one of the best times. It's unfortunate it ended the way it did, but again, it's all life experience.
It
you know what I
is.
mean? It's like for me at that moment, that was kind of the closest that I ever got as a rapper to like rubbing shoulders with certain people in the industry, to where if things would have went the right way,
Yeah.
I could have said, I did it. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
So unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And things happen the way they happen. But you know what? I have reflected on this a lot. The reality is, if things would have went a different way and we would have stayed in New York, we would have never came back to Montreal and
Probably
had
not.
our kids.
See, that's what happened with me in Vegas. Something similar where things weren't lining up. Something looked fugazi. I was like, what is this now? And all of a sudden it was like, okay, I see what this is. This is the beginning of the end. Well, this was nice. I call Vegas a glimpse. For you, New York was that glimpse of like what life could be like if things worked out the way they did. And also never give up, y'all. Like after that, coming down from Vegas and realizing, back in Montreal, I'm looking for a job. Like, what is this? What I'm not
It was
supposed to
depressing.
be here.
I
It was
I
very
depressed for a
depressing.
while.
Yeah, it was very depressing, and it
Yeah, I
makes
can
you want to
imagine.
quit.
being
Yeah, I
depressed,
can
a
imagine.
miserable fucking prick, bro. Imagine going from like being signed in New York City to coming back and delivering scaffolding for a fucking
Yeah,
living. Like,
no, that was
it was hard. It was
Yeah.
hard to deal with. Man.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah. And some people never try again, But for me, I took it as if I could get that far, I just got to make sure that I have the right people with me. Give me another opportunity. I'll do this again, and I'll take what I learned from there and apply it.
Word.
Never give up, bro.
One other thing that I wanted to ask: did it fall apart because of bad business, or did it all
Yeah.
go away because he OD'd and he died?
No, it was
Like,
bad business.
so
He
it was
didn't know
before-
till years after we
Okay.
were not even in the picture
Okay,
anymore.
so that's what it was.
I don't really want to say negative things because he's passed on. So I do want to preface it with like
I want to say that
RIP.
from the beginning.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean? Like, I don't
definitely
even know this
RIP,
person.
And he
bro.
believed
And
in us, so I appreciate
I
that.
really am sad because we never got to make amends.
Yeah.
It was very sudden the way that it happened. We never got to make amends. And I remember when I phoned him to break the contract, essentially, he didn't want to let us go because it was a contract. And, you know, I don't want to get too much into it, but I had to basically threaten him to get out of the contract, which we ended up getting out of. And he was crying on the phone. Like he loved us. You know what I mean? Like he was fucked up on drugs and he was doing bad business and he pretty much ruined our name in New York, unfortunately. But he loved us. He really did have a genuine love for us.
Yeah.
And I never got to make amends with him before he passed. So that is one of my regrets.
It's the music industry.
It's some music industry shit.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. That's it.
So this episode of the Hustle Podcast is brought to you by Ball is Life Hydration. Now, this is a premium hydration drink for any athletic situation. This particular drink is made with organic beet juice concentrate with all of your essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. It's also a nootropic with beta-alanine, L-theanine, and it is made with organic cane sugar. So there's none of that high fructose corn syrup that all of these other premium sports drinks have. This is Ball is Life, ladies and gentlemen, from the ground up. Fuel your workouts and fuel for the fight. Now, if you want to get your hands on Ball is Life, you can go ahead and follow Ball is Life _hydration on Instagram. It is soon to be available all over the Montreal area. Once again, Ball is Life. Tell them the Hustle Podcast sent you.
I wanted to ask you about what you spoke about the obstacle, about motherhood, about juggling time and responsibilities and etc. What do you see, like, you're saying it's getting easier
Yeah.
because as they're getting older, you have certain more liberties, freedom of time,
Yeah.
etc. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do you see that going over the next few years? Like, what is I don't want to say what is the goal,
Mm-hmm.
but what is the goal insofar as trying to free up the liberty and time for the artistry and the artist? And how do you see that?
Well, having a partner who's very supportive, who also does music, is a huge help because we take turns juggling the kids if it comes to juggling. So like again, having the sitter, or he'll just be like, "Nah, babe, you go. I'll hold it down." You know, I love that about what we have. I don't have to explain too much. You know, like he understands the world, so the music world. So that's why it's easier. The kids are older; they understand things like that. Some of them come to the studio. Like sometimes we just have no choice. We're like, I ain't paying a sitter again, bro. Come to the studio. Just learn to be quiet.
Straight up.
I got the oldest daughter on some background vocals, I think, or we were just messing around in the studio, and I was like, "Yo, like this." I used to think I had to separate it from the kids, but it just kind of they integrated with it. So I'm like, this is actually not as hard as I thought. The hardest part was when they were young and they're crying and they're in diapers. You know, mommy's gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
for
You
sure, it's
know.
different.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, they're a
easier
little
now.
bit more self-sufficient now, especially Zeke.
Yeah.
He's a teenager pretty much.
Exactly. They come to the shows. They're at the parks. You know, like it's fun. It's fun.
Speaking of shows, I know we had a big one yesterday, right? Tug of War was in the building.
That's right.
Did you roll through for that or no?
Thuggy.
Did anybody
No.
hear about the situation that's brewing in
No.
nothing?
Not at
Freddie
all.
Fame, you got exposed and stuff like that.
I did see Freddie's post.
Let's talk about
I
it,
saw
Steve.
Freddie's post.
You didn't
dog.
hear anything about this.
I'm
Maybe you did,
not the
may-
person to ask about like online things.
Anyways,
I'm not.
Educate us.
I'm
Steven.
not plugged into
So
stuff.
the Hustle
you know.
Podcast got-
Sorry, I should be. I guess I don't know.
The Hustle Podcast got a message a few days ago to possibly get Tug of War to come on the podcast,
Would have
Yeah.
been huge.
which would have been great.
Yeah.
I hit up Tech. Personally, look, I didn't know who Tug of War was. Shame on me. I'm not into that type of music.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Kenny's older than,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But then I checked online. I'm like, yo, this guy has a huge
huge
following.
following. Yeah, he's
text,
viral.
text like, yo, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, I fuck with Tuggy from time.
And then when I told the person, I'm like, not interested, because I thought he wanted to book him for a show. I'm like, right now we got too much stuff going on with the studio. We can't book him. Too much financial issues. So he's like, no, to get him on the podcast. Like, he's like, didn't you hear all this crazy stuff going on tour? I'm like, no, I didn't hear nothing. I log into Instagram maybe a day later, and I see this huge post about Freddie Fame. I don't know if you've ever dealt with Freddie Fame. Dealt with him a few times on Adamo's behalf. And basically, he just got blasted by the whole community that this guy is he's a vulture, snake, this, that. It's a big thing going on right now. I don't know if he pulled up to the show yesterday because he was supposed to be hosting that show.
Yeah, I think he was asking, like, should I pull up to the show anyway? And blah, 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 blah. But I was like, oh, I didn't even, I
I
was
don't
like, is
know
it
who
April
Freddie
Fool's?
Fame
Is
is
this
as
a
a
real
caveat.
post, dog? It was October 1st. I was like, this ain't April. What the hell? Is this real?
Okay, it's like a beef. Freddie Fame is a Montreal
No,
artist.
so
No,
Freddie
it's
Fame is from the
Toronto.
6. Freddie Fame is from the 6, but he comes to Montreal and he has this.
That's Toronto.
For those of you who don't know,
Used to be called
Can you
T-Dot if you're
explain
of a certain
exactly
age.
the Ponzi scheme he has?
well,
I don't know.
you know, to be honest, I don't. It's kind of a scheme that has existed in
So he's an
underground.
artist. Freddie Fame is
No,
an
he's
artist.
like a promoter, I guess you can say.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he started, the way that I heard of Freddie Fame initially was he was making hip hop like playing cards. Well, not playing cards,
Yes,
but I
yes.
guess
That's
I
the
guess
first
I
time
have
I've ever
one.
heard
I
of him.
still have
right.
mine.
Yeah, you have yours exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, a long
So,
time.
but the whole thing was, it was like you got to pay to have a card,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then so, but whether it's Freddie Fame or somebody else, these schemes have existed in underground hip hop as long as time has existed.
What was the scheme?
Which
if I
is
can
basically
understand?
pay to play. You know what I mean? Like it's you have to pay to play.
Oh,
if you
like at a
I'll
show?
promote you, but like
Yeah.
But the thing is,
it's not free.
it's you got to pay around $250 if I remember correctly.
Like when random artists like Paul Wall and etc. come
No,
and you
there's
see
no-
the same people opening
no,
for
this-
them
it's not.
constantly.
It's not
like here in
opening for a big
Montreal, and you
concert.
wonder
No.
why.
It's you're paying to perform for 20 other artists,
Yeah.
and you're paying $250, and you get to perform 5 minutes,
Oh.
which
So
is some crazy
this is kind
shit.
of a thing that there was somebody else in the city, which I'm not going to name. names, but there was-
that
Listen,
Yes, bro.
Listen,
But
there was
no, why?
listen, there was another guy in our city who's been doing this for a long time too, and they guise it under artist development.
Development,
So you're gonna give me X amount of dollars, and what I'm gonna give you in return is opportunities, and I'm gonna develop you as an artist and teach you how to navigate the industry. When the reality of what you're getting for your money is you're gonna get to come and do a show in front of 6 other rappers who also paid me for artist development. There's no fans in attendance. You're just rapping in front of these other rappers. I'm gonna take your money. I'm gonna mosey on my way. Pleasure doing business with you. That's the scheme. That's the scheme.
Look, as if you're just coming up in the game and you want to get your foot in and make a couple of connections, do 1, 2.
No.
It's different.
It's a terrible business.
No,
move.
for sure. It's just that you don't know what you're getting
say
into.
something
Yeah.
real quick about this, because it's cool to talk about gossip and all this other stuff, but just as an artist, like, don't ever put yourself in a position where you are not controlling the leverage of your availability to be somewhere on a stage or in front of people or etc. Do not sell your leverage to the point that you're saying that you're going to come out of your pocket to get access to people, especially in our day and age when you can have access to the entire world in your phone, in the palm of your hand. And I understand that there's a difference to be like on a tangible stage in a venue and etc. There's benefits to that. But go rap for free, go perform for free. Like I've done that before, like growing through the stages, etc. And if you're going to go to the extreme of selling tickets, don't put yourself in a position where it's like, well, you have to sell 20 of these tickets and you're buying the tickets. This happens all the time, by the way, where people are buying 20 tickets and now you have to go sell those just to break even, to be in the hole. Like, you're not even getting ticket cut. That's crazy. Don't put yourself out there like that as an artist, because at the end of the day, whatever opportunity you create is gonna, like, you won't be looked at the same way as if you stand on business. There's something that I try to share with younger artists and with people is, if somebody wants you in a show, it's for a reason. If someone approaches you for a show, then there's got to be a reason why. So if I'm that valuable to you as an artist, I need to have some kind of compensation for my time, availability, energy, etc. What I'm bringing to the table. And maybe the compensation is zero. Maybe you perform for free. Maybe there's somebody in this show that's going to see you perform, etc. But don't come out of pocket, guys. Don't pay to play, because at the end of the day, you're just playing your own self out of bigger opportunities, because people won't have the same respect for you because they look at you like a meal ticket. There's a reason why, and we're not going to get into it like that because I'm not trying to bring negativity. I'm not that person. There's a reason why you see a lot of the same things going on in the same local scenes right now, and has been going on since COVID ended. There's a reason for that.
Look, I 100% agree with you. Thing with the Freddie Fame situation,
Sorry
he
for the
was
rant.
Steve really wants to drive this home.
he was
Little
like
TED
like
talk.
marketing it the way you said.
Right.
Artist development. He's gonna
it's
get,
the
he's
same
gonna
old
put your
scheme.
song on the radio.
Yeah.
He knows DJ this,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that was one thing
Post a
that.
picture with him then. If you know him, where's the picture?
So that was like one thing. You're like, okay, there could be a benefit for me as an artist. Not saying that I did that because I wasn't even rapping at that point. I was done. But let's say you're not in the scene, you're not tapped in whatsoever. That could be sort of a way to tap in.
Yeah.
Once we did one show for the artist that I was working with, we did a second one. And after I'm like, dude, this makes no sense to do this. I go, you're just basically paying this guy to perform for other rappers. I go,
Yeah, there's no return on your investment.
there's no return whatsoever. So after that, every time he kept hitting me up, I'm like, yeah, we're good. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
bounce.
Yeah.
And then I hear this thing happen. I think it was way overdue.
He asked me if I wanted to perform at that too. I was like, nah, I'm good. I had my girl like, yo, I can get you on a track with Tug of War. I'm like, I'm not trying to get in the studio, right? I'm focusing on my album. Thanks,
you go.
guys. But no, I literally watched it swarm around me. I'm like, ooh, drama.
So I think like with what did transpire in T-Dot a few days ago, that it's going to be way better for the scene now. Because you have,
Oh, there was some.
Well, he got his scheme essentially, from
It's
what I
exposed.
understand, got exposed.
it's exposed.
What I saw essentially
like
was
almost 500 likes on the post.
Yeah,
That
so-
everybody
so
calling him out a
Tuggy-
snake.
Oh, wow.
Tug of War went to Toronto, and I don't know what transpired between him and Freddie, but essentially Freddie, this is alleged because I'm not close to the situation. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm talking about what I read on Tug of War's post that he made.
I have
on
a question
Instagram.
about you based on all of this.
Yeah. So
We're gonna
essentially,
segue back to the star right now.
essentially Tug of War made a post saying that Freddie Fame was kind of, saying negative things about him behind the scenes, and then when he saw him in person, he tried to hail him up, and Tuggy was like, yo, move the fuck up. Like, why you being fake type shit. That's the part of the post that I read.
I think you heard wrong. It was another artist that he was talking about.
Oh.
But Tugga was in the mix because he's there. I don't know who booked him. It could have been Freddie. It could have been the other artist. But somebody was backstage. They recorded the conversation on the phone. And they posted like a leaked recording, like a Young Thug Jailhouse.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what
So,
Freddie was talking about. Leaked it. I'm like,
yeah. And it's done. I tried to check up on it because once I see some
It's got
shit,
taken
yeah,
down.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
down. It's all down.
Wow.
So anyways, Freddie said on Monday he's coming out with his version. We'll see what he says on Monday.
Hot damn.
But like I mentioned, I think that type of scheme, it was way overdue. It had to be exposed. It was really detrimental to the city, to any city, to the whole music scene. And now that this guy has been pretty much branded as a guy that's just gonna swindle you out of your money, kudos, you know what I mean? That's it.
I mean, look, to kind of summarize and wrap it
And
up.
that's all I have to say on that. That's done. I'm done with
To
that.
kind of summarize and wrap it up, like, you have to realize that when you're starting off as an artist, and this is something that I always said, this is a quote that I always said, is that there's sharks in the water. There's sharks in the water,
Yeah,
and
for
if
sure.
they sense blood, they're going to swarm. And what I
Yeah,
mean
for
by that
sure.
is, as an artist, kind of goes to building off of what you said. You need to protect your brand. You need to protect your value, because there are people, unfortunately, in the entertainment industry that are strictly looking to take advantage of you and take money out of your pocket with no benefit to you. So you need to be able to filter that out as an artist and be able to decide what's a smart business decision and what isn't.
That's how the music business works, right? Especially, being an artist, like we're the ones who are coming out of pocket for every single part of the process of being an artist. And we're the last ones to have any recoup if you really look at it. Because when you pay the producer for the beat, you have the beat now, right? Okay, but do you think that that person really cares what you do with the beat if they got paid already? The guy who records you, do you think he cares about what you do with the mix and master after you
as long
got
as
paid?
he got his bill.
The dude who does the video, once you pay him and he gives you the video, if that video gets 1 view or 1,000,000 views, you paid me already, bro. Do what you want with the video. It's the same thing with every other portion of, so, when we talk about investing in yourself and this kind of stuff, like, you're a mom, there's got to be some kind of like juggling that you're doing with the financials, with the investment of yourself as an artist and
Yeah.
all that. Like, how do you decide what's worth your time, energy, money, focus, etc., as a person and as a mom
Yeah.
who's trying to be an artist, so you can veto what to do and not do?
Good question. I mean, I do what I can, and I'm very much in control. I don't have, and I have never really had people coming after me to swindle me into anything. If I did get hit by someone like Freddie Fame or whatever, I would just politely decline, be like, nah. I think I always had really good discernment with like what's worth my time and money, especially when you're not working with very much of either. Like you're gonna hold back for the big moves. Um, so yeah, I did have an opportunity bringing it back to No Small Small, the biggest hit that I've had so far in my whole career, which happens to be a soca. That was an opportunity that came in quick, and it did cost me to jump on it. And I didn't know the guy. Shout out to King Moses out in T Dot. I linked him up on IG thinking he was a producer because in his bio I saw Afro beats, soca, whatever. So I thought, oh, he's a producer. So I reached out, hey, you got any soca beats? He's like, oh, I'm actually an artist, but I do sit down with producers and I kind of do produce as well. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, look, if you want to collab at any point, let me know. I'm just networking. And to my surprise, he's like, actually, I got a rhythm right now. If you're quick with writing, like it's gonna cost this much, and we're trying to drop it in, by December. So by 2 weeks, I need your version. And I was like, but the rhythm, that rhythm, as soon as it starts, dun, dun, dun,
Spoke to you
dun, 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 dun,
immediately.
it was a monster. I showed it to 1-4 Dav. I'm like, listen to this. I don't even know who this guy is, but I want to jump on this. That could have went south. It could have.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
like to think that my intuition and, timing, experience, you kind of realize like, okay, you need to
for
take a
sure.
little risk sometimes. And I was like, all right. So,
I heard a great quote. Faith takes more than 48 hours.
yeah. So like I put in what I could. I called up someone in my family and I was like, yo, this is an opportunity, but the time is ticking. And like, if I pay for this myself, I can't pay for it for the next 2 weeks. Like, you think you can? And they were like, thank God to the people who believe in us. They're like, nah, I got you. And I was like, what? Thanks. But so then I had this, like, I got to make this, I got to show the people who are supporting me.
It incentivizes
I
you a
got to
little bit.
make
Yeah, for
it,
sure. You
show
gotta
them
show
that
and
it's
prove.
worth every penny. So yeah, I got that going and then they pushed the song back a little bit. So I was like, all right, cool. But when it came out, I was antsy. I was ready. I already had a vision for the video. When I write, I have a vision for the video. So I made sure, yeah, I'm putting money behind the video. I'm making sure it's high quality. I'm making sure it's better than my last video. Like, I'm very particular when it comes to that, especially when you've been in the game this long. Like,
Yeah.
you can't.
You can't come with some whack
No,
shit.
you cannot.
We're
You
past that
cannot.
point.
So I believe in continuity and showing that every move is a better move. So that worked out for me. But yeah, it could have gone south. Thank goodness it didn't. It didn't cost me thousands of dollars, but like,
Shout out to
it was
448
a
for
pretty
that
penny.
video. 1-4 Dab
No,
for
it
the
was
cameo. It
monstrosity.
was monstrosity. They have
Yeah,
a similar
I'm yet
vibe.
to
That's
work
why,
with
yeah.
448, but when I do,
Monstrosity killed it though. Shout out to them.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really
They did a
did.
good job.
Shout
Yeah.
out, shout
They did a
out.
good job, yeah.
So yeah, and 1-4 Dav being in the video and his acting skills and thing, I was like, yo, I need you to be in this video. Come give me some kind of Trini accent. He's like, yo, he wanted everyone to just be like, what kind of Trini accent is that? He wanted to get some like clickbait on there and talk dirt about himself even. Like, he's very much like that.
I think that the promo vid, when you see Dav, he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
bro, he's a
creeping.
natural. He's hilarious. So yeah. Shout out. I want to shout out my manager, by the way, David Foster. You know David.
A Chicken Religion, what's up? Can we get a Chicken Religion sponsor? Because we're hungry and I would love
Chicken
to have a Chicken
Religion.
Religion sponsor on the podcast. Shout out to Dave, man.
Yeah, man. So officially, I'm I believe the newest member of music. What is it? Music Groovebox. Give me a second, guys. I'm so new.
You're supposed to notice.
I'm
see?
supposed to, and I did, but give me a second. You're not
You
gonna
got it.
edit this?
Did you get any? No. Did you get any free chicken?
It's Groovebox Entertainment. My bad, guys. No, not yet.
No free chicken?
Nah, bro.
Yeah, you're slipping, Dave. Come on.
Sorry. But
I'm
yeah.
down for chicken, by the way.
Yo,
I'm
it's
excited.
his
There's like
food-
dips and
food is
sauces?
fire. His
I
food
never
is
saw. I saw the truck, but I never saw the
fire
food.
Fire food.
Yeah, I'm a big dip guy.
Yeah,
So, like,
you
chicken,
like to
like
dip
tenders,
it, eh?
KFC tender style.
Yeah. You guys got to try that Mr. Boom dressing, though.
Yeah.
Ding. See what I did there?
No, that's all. It's just harmless self promotion. It never hurt anybody, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How would you say that? I mean, it's so. How long have you been with this management?
Since the summer.
Since this summer.
Yeah.
How would you say that it's affected your music? I mean, like obviously it's opening up doors, it's opening up opportunities.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because he comes with like his own links, like he's from St. Lucia, but he lived in the UK for a long time. So he's well linked, and we're trying to break into Trinidad. So it's good to have someone with that vision and that understanding of the culture off the rip, you know, so because it's a different beast. Soca, it's a different beast compared to, you know, hip hop
Look,
and whatever.
I get confused. Dance hall, soca, whatever's playing, I don't know which one's which.
You're gonna
Sometimes.
have to explain the difference to
Ah,
Steve.
bro, the dance hall comes from Jamaican
Yes,
culture.
I know.
But yeah,
But the
I don't
the
know how else
rhythms, you know
to-
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a difference in like the cadence and the speed of the music mostly,
Yeah,
and the instruments.
yeah. And the content a little bit. Soca is very, very
If it sounds excessively double timey, it's Soca.
And very,
Yeah.
very happy, almost to the point of like forcing yourself to be super happy.
Bro.
That's why it never resonated with me, because I'm just a miserable prick by nature. But hey,
Nah, but so West Indians, they can come from like the poorest part of the country and still know how to celebrate life.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people in those parts of the world actually are happier than those who
Oh, they
are
are,
trying
yeah.
to live up to like materialistic standards and whatever. So yeah, it's very happy music. It's super positive, and it helps you to remember, like, no matter what's going on in your life, be grateful for another day, you know, another chance to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I love soca. If you're depressed at all, put on some soca music. I dare you.
it might make me more depressed, to be fair. But that's just me. But
Nah.
again, this is just me.
And it's funny, you know, I'm not going to work today. Like, there's just certain things where you're like, yeah, this is my tune, you know, like, I don't know.
That's hysterical.
It's hilarious. I love it. It's feel good music. I can't wait to bring you guys this album, to be honest.
How do you gonna navigate, or how do you navigate like the people that you're gonna work with, the artists you're gonna let feature on you're working on this album? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you navigating this process of like letting people into because you seem to be a very much you base the art on the human side, and the human side is very much like mindful of who you're letting in the circle.
Yeah. Well, first I'm starting with myself. Before I put the attention or focus on who I want on this album, I want to make sure that I lock down my sound first. And if I hear a feature on this project, then my ears are really good usually. Like, you know, I don't mind taking someone it's not even about like, oh, they're hustling, they have numbers, let's get them on the thing. It's not even so much that. Like, I hollered at somebody who I thought would be a great fit for one of my songs. She's here in Montreal, older lady, super talented. For all you know, jumping on this track might do something for her career. It might open up things for her. So I'm not necessarily looking for like who's already established. I love putting people on, not that I'm in that position, but like I like the idea that if you jump on something with me, it took you somewhere further. I love that. I wish people would have done that for me. And some people have, you know, I gained a lot of traction just jumping on the right track or whatever. So yeah, there will be some features, but I'm not going to go feature crazy. I really want to take this opportunity to finally drop my first album in like 20 years of being in the game.
Right.
So like, yeah, I'm going to take up as much of that time as I can.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Keep it limited. If there's any features,
Yeah.
make sure it's a special
They
one.
got to be
and that's it.
special.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they gotta fit the sound, and I think that's the most important point. I think it's a great thing that you said, actually, because honestly, I think the mistake that a lot of artists make when they're in album mode is they do exactly the opposite of what
Yeah.
you're saying, which is they're just gonna look at who's viral right now.
Yeah.
I need this person on my album.
That's a
because
French
he's viral.
Montana album, bro.
Yeah, well, basically. But to be fair, the formula does work. I
Yes,
mean,
it does.
you
Yes.
know, it
Well,
works.
it's
But
Another one.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, if you're trying to put out a timeless piece of art, you need
Yeah.
to focus on the art before
Exactly.
the virality of it. right?
Exactly.
if it's your first album in 20
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
it's gonna mean something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I want it to sound timeless.
Yeah.
And Soca's really good at doing that. Like, I still bump old school Soca. Like, how much longevity does hip hop have? If it comes out today, how long are you bumping that track for?
It depends who we're talking about, honestly.
I think it depends the song. I
Yeah.
think
It does.
depends
It depends the artist, too.
yeah, it depends the
Yeah.
artist, the song, what it means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what they're
Like,
talking about.
Because the Drakes and the Kendricks will be here 25 years from now. We'll still be listening to some of these songs.
Some of their music, yes. Some of their music, no.
Some of their
Just
music,
like
no.
the
Exactly.
great artists of the yesteryear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think like the thing that sticks with you, music, is like it's that feeling that, you know, music is like a time capsule. That's why sometimes you play an older song or you play it and you're just like, oh, it's because you have that sort of nostalgic
It encapsulated
feeling.
a moment
That's why
in time.
sometimes you say like, oh, I wish such and such would go back to I wish he
Old
would
Kanye.
make the old,
I
I
need
wish
the
we
old
hear the old
Kanye.
Drake, the old
Yeah.
Kanye, it's not you want that. It's you want to
You
feel
missed that moment.
the moment that you felt when you were that age and that place in your life that music hit you that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes we get stuck too because of that. And we get stuck in trying to just recreate moments
I
as
think
opposed to
I think music in particular as an art form does work the best when you are able though to encapsulate a vibe or a moment in time because it takes it
Absolutely.
and it makes it timeless. And I think the reason that a lot of the music today doesn't last is because it is following this cookie cutter
Trend.
formula.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, like nobody's gonna be listening to Lil Tecca 25 years from now. Nobody
I
is.
don't think
I
that's the
don't- I don't-
case.
I don't listen to
I
Little
can
Tecca now.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
Me
Yep.
neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. But no,
Yeah.
I like that you're letting that human guide because I think that's the best way actually to make those
Yeah.
kind of moments is when you're more aligned with yourself
Yes.
in whatever time. And you're not trying to create a moment in time for anyone else other than your own self. And then that moment resonates with other people because that's what we're human beings, right? Like,
But you're forcing it at that point. This is something you've been working on for 20 years. Take your time, just make it perfect. You know what I mean? In your mind, it doesn't have to be perfect for everybody else, just for you. That's it.
Also, it's like, what are you telling people? What's your thing? You know, like Eminem was like mad at his mom forever and ever, and so that resonated with kids who were just trying to move out. You know, now screw my parents. But like for me, as corny as it might seem, like unity is what it's all about. Like soca music brings people together. It makes people want to dance. It makes people want to celebrate. You know, you could be owing rent money, but tonight
It's
you're
about
rich.
tonight.
Tonight you're rich and you're just living in the moment.
That's fascinating. I never thought of it like that. I
Yeah.
never thought of it like that because if you really think of it, like hip hop in a certain sense is kind of the opposite.
Yes,
in a
it
way.
divides
It's kind
everybody.
of divisive. Like,
It is.
you know what I mean?
Can
It's
be,
like,
yeah, for
sure,
am I
can
a
be.
my
Definitely
lyricist?
can
Am
be.
I a backpacker? Am I a battle
Am
guy?
I
Am I
this?
this?
Am I
Am I that?
that?
Whereas
Yeah.
it's okay. It's like, yo, we all in here. We gonna have a motherfucking good time. tonight.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah, for
mean?
sure.
Exactly. Like just feel the rhythm. And it's infectious. Like even if you don't know how to dance, you know, it's like, what is that? Like Beetlejuice when they all start dancing and they can't help themselves. Like it kind of gives you that feeling. And also like we're very open to like accepting other cultures into our own culture. And so, yeah, being light skinned, that's a thing too. Like, I don't necessarily feel like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, like you'll see white people playing carnival costumes, you know? So like we love people embracing our culture. So I would hope that me doing soca will also set a trend for other mixed biracial people to feel like it's okay to stand out, but you're repping your culture. Like at the end of the day, a proud Trini loves to meet another proud Trini, you know? So like,
Yes, they do.
you know, it's like tell the world about us. So yeah.
Can I ask you for a favor? This is completely off topic. I need you to explain to Vanessa that I don't dance because she's been trying to get me to go to one of these Haitian soirees
No. What
for
you
a very
need to
long
do,
time. Because she thinks I could dance. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, but
She's
you
like,
gotta
you're an
learn.
artist.
You know what
you
it
have
is.
the
You
rhythm.
know what it
No, I
is. You know
don't.
what it is.
No, I don't.
If I can interrupt her thought and just alley oop because
Please.
she's gonna be the Dwayne Wade to
Okay.
my LeBron in
I
this
like where you're
moment.
going with that.
What you need to do is not put yourself in the obstacle of like I can't dance like what
Yes.
you think the expectation
Right.
is to
Mhm.
dance to the level of this music.
yeah. If you can't
No,
pelt
you
waist,
can't,
don't
bro.
pelt
No,
waist.
no,
if
no.
you
I
can't pelt
know.
waist.
You know.
I know.
Okay.
But what you can do is you can learn to catch the rhythm.
Yes, and chip.
And catch the rhythm in the hip. So
Yeah.
you can two-step the
Yes,
hips
your whole
to
way
any
through
rhythm
everything. Yeah.
and then let her lead the festivity of it while you just hold her down as the shield of the moment. And then you're gonna be fly. It's gonna be blessed.
I have an interjection because okay, here's the difference with Caribbean music specifically. I'm very used to dancehall soca to a certain degree. Haitian music is much more
it's like compa.
like compa. Yeah, compa.
Yeah,
In
compa,
terms of dancing, it's much more of a ballroom dance.
It's closer
where-
to Latin music
Right,
than it is
exactly.
to yes,
Where-
because of
so
the
as the man-
Dominican and the whole yes.
Now, as the man, I'm expected to lead.
You're expected.
I can't even lead myself through a
Okay.
dancing
I'm gonna take
situation.
a
The reason
class,
why I knew
IG.
you were gonna go there,
Yeah.
and the reason why I still stand on what I said
Okay.
originally is because the woman that you're with upholds you guys' relationship and doesn't put you in a position where you're gonna be at a party or an event where because in specifically in Latin music, not in Haitian music, but in Latin music, it's very you switch partners, you be dancing with other people, etc. Now, if you can't dance well in Latin music, if you can't dance bachata and you go to a salsa bachata night with your girl and she can dance and you can't dance, you're gonna have a really hard time with your ego because your girl's gonna be dancing with other dudes.
No,
and
she's
it's
not.
gonna be very. See how you just said no, she's not. That's why you're never gonna go to those kind of events. But that's why you can go to the Haitian dance and to the etc. Because your girl's never gonna upstage you. Your girl doesn't put you in that kind of a. You guys don't have a relationship where she puts you in a position where you're gonna feel slighted or she's intentional how she moves, etc. etc. Right. So all you have to do is learn to just catch that rhythm and just be cool enough to just be
Exactly.
cooling with it.
Exactly.
That's all you gotta do is just be cooling with it.
That's it.
Put some of the music on at home
Yeah.
and catch a vibe at home.
Yeah.
Catch a 1-2 drink at home.
Exactly.
Catch a 1-2 dance at home and then take it outside and
Exactly.
just boom.
It's not that hard.
Haitian dancing is pretty simple. You know what I mean? It's like you said, it's a 1-2.
It is
It's a
not
1-2
simple.
step.
Yeah.
No, it's to come to dance well and fully, yes, but to just 1-2 step with it. Maybe you
Yeah.
throw up a hand and put on hit on your
You know?
stomach, let her hands go, then you grab her hands again. Boom. It's just an
he's like
easy.
he's reminiscing right now.
I
He's
want to
getting
see
his
a
I can
video
hear
of
the Haitian
basics
music,
teaching
like-
tech 1-2 steps. That's what I would watch that.
I mean,
That's
we won't
views
do it
right
on
there.
camera, but we could definitely get it
Wow.
going. You know what I'm
Who's
saying?
to say that me and Basics haven't already danced
Oh
together?
God.
You know
Yeah,
what
but-
I'm saying?
Cut.
I will say that bachata is it's gonna take you a little.
Bro, listen,
Yeah.
I can't dance no
Steps,
bachata.
steps.
It's gonna take you time to learn that one. You gotta move. It's all about moving the hips and shit.
Yeah, a little 2-step and a little hip to go with it. It's
Selfishly, I just want to summarize and say that, babe, eventually it may happen. I just don't want to make any promises at this current point.
At least for the
But
wedding,
I'm
dog.
thinking of it.
At
I'm
least
thinking
for
of
the
it.
wedding. Do a little class and present a nice piece for the wedding.
Well, you gotta build up to that.
I don't do grading classes.
That's why you gotta do the thing at home first. Put on some
Yeah.
music, catch a drink,
Yeah.
chill, catch some dance and vibes. Then you
Yeah.
go out.
Then it's
You
natural
do
by
the
that
same
point.
thing. You do
Yeah.
that a few times.
Yeah.
And then once you do that a couple times, then you might catch yourself doing a one extra move.
Exactly. When you're feeling nice.
Then by the time you go out,
you know?
by the 10th time, you're gonna be out there like, turn
Exactly.
around, come
See?
here.
You got. I listen. I do appreciate that you guys are very
Mhm.
confident in me.
It's
in
like the
this
training.
regard.
You gotta build up to it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's the language
You're
he
not
knows.
jumping on and putting on 3 plates.
Exactly.
You're building up to
Right.
the 3 plates.
Right.
Yeah. Start with the
well,
2
Mhm,
steps.
It's the same thing,
3
bro.
plates fucked up my shoulders.
Nice is up.
But yeah,
You know what I wanted to say? I wanted to bring up that piece, that chain that you got on right
I've
now.
been thinking about it the whole
24, no
interview.
days
No
off.
days
off.
24,
That
365.
is
I've been
a
thinking about
sick
that the whole
piece.
chain the whole
Yeah.
time.
Crazy, right?
Who's the mastermind behind that one?
It was a gift.
I was like,
Shout
yeah.
out to my girl Alexandra.
Oh.
Yeah. She gives me stuff all the time. She's like, oh my God, I got this. This is perfect for you.
No, that's dope though.
It's
Dope.
nice,
Yeah.
right? I like it. I live it. It is what it is.
Mother and artist, so there
Yeah.
are no days off.
There are none.
no, there's literally no days off. But and if there is a day off, it's because they're at my house driving me crazy. But it's
Oh.
okay. Listen, we
And
share
then
the
I'm-
responsibility.
Then I'm
so
really living life.
it's
them
okay. You're
days.
living life. Yeah. I do before we wrap up, I do want to speak about something because I know again we talked on the car ride up here, and I know it's something that we both wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
Being an artist, being a mother, being a productive adult, and living through all of this with, I guess we could say undiagnosed ADHD. I know
doubt it.
for me has been a very hard struggle. I can imagine for you it has been too.
Yeah.
How does it affect your music and your daily life?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, ADHD is it is a superpower. Until you can figure out how to make it work for you, you can feel like it works against you. So yeah, being forgetful, having a hard time with scheduling, time management. I often walk into a room and forget what the hell I came in here for. I have to backtrack to remember what I was just saying. Yeah, that it kind of works against me. But when it comes to creativity, this is where people like us shine, I feel, anyways. Like, having crazy imagination and your thoughts are going like super fast and no, I think it works well for creativity, and it just sucks sometimes just trying to do the regular daily things. I need to have my calendar on my phone because I will often overbook myself, whether it's face painting, shows, someone needs their hair done. Like I'll easily triple book myself
True.
if I don't have that. So me and 1-4 have a joint calendar. I highly recommend that. So that, cause like he'll even joke like, I must have something. It's not as bad as you, but I got something. So like I'm remembering his stuff and he's trying to remember my stuff. I'm like, bro, well, let's put it in the joint calendar. So that works. It works really well. But not going too deep into it, there's definitely some challenges. It comes with big feelings. especially like when you got kids with ADHD and you can't fully understand why they're acting the way they are. So like, yeah, there's challenges to it, but I like to think I don't do so bad. And I think if I didn't tell a lot of people, they wouldn't know, which means I'm masking very well. I have a social battery that goes down quick. When I'm lit, I'm on, and I'm full of dopamine. And then when I'm coming down from that, I'm just like, oh, what did I say yes to? I don't want to go. Like,
Yeah,
Story of my life.
like,
Same.
yeah. So there's definitely downsides to it, but uh, I'm undiagnosed, but I know I got that shit.
I think I got it too.
I know, bro.
Yeah,
There's
like,
so
you
many.
have
all
ADD or
have
ADHD. You
There's
got
so many.
something.
No, but it's what's in our food.
I just call myself half retarded. That's
Oh
it.
my
That's how
God.
I'm just half retarded.
It's what's in the cereals
We
for the
can't say
kids.
that
It's all the blues and the purples and the reds, all the
Right.
cancerous stuff. Like there's so much stuff that's
Flintstones vitamins,
why you gotta keep
baby.
it
That's what I
natural
grew
with
up
ball is
on.
life.
yeah.
That's why you got to keep it natural with ball is life, ladies
Exactly.
and gentlemen.
And work out. Like if you do think you have ADHD, like working out. How much does
Man,
working out
getting
help
outside.
you? Like just get the proper chemicals
Oh,
flowing.
if I didn't work out, I'd be violently depressed. We
Yeah,
were
we're
talking
just
about it
talking
off
about it
camera.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
it's not
Sure.
even. It's like
It's
it's
movement, getting the
yeah,
blood going,
it's
getting the sweat
dopamine.
out.
Yeah.
It's all that.
But
Yeah,
for
for
me,
sure.
I think it's more constantly forcing myself to work towards a goal. That's the most, for me, that's what training is. That's for anybody, that's what training is. But for me, the benefit to it mentally comes from always having something to work towards and build towards. And it's like if you have ADHD, even if you don't have ADHD, if you're just living your life and you're not working towards something, what's the point of living?
Exactly. No, we need structure. We need scheduling. We need structure. We need routine. And we need that dopamine. So instant gratification, we might struggle with things that take long before you see results, but going to the gym, luckily you get to see those results pretty quickly. If you don't see them right away, you at least feel them. Like when I ache the next day after the gym, I still feel good about it. I'm like, yeah. So like, yeah,
No pain, no
working out
gain.
helps.
No,
Exactly.
Gotta say,
let's
right?
have you shit,
Exactly.
my guy.
And a reward
Hey.
system. Gotta have that reward system. Like I love leaving the studio and getting to play my song while I'm on the way back home. Like I want to hear it
Analyze
right
and
away.
just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I need
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
instant. That gives me the now I'm thinking about my next session. I know exactly what I'm gonna do different.
Okay, you gotta change this, that.
Yeah,
Word.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Feeding the beast.
Let me
come
ask you
with
something
challenges.
because you just, you're on a roster now. You're on a not a label, but you're part of a
There's a group.
artist collective who is being managed by somebody specifically,
Yeah.
right? That's something that's obviously different from the last X amount of time, maybe ever.
Yeah, I had a manager before, but I never signed.
There wasn't documentation, and it
Exactly.
wasn't
Aside
this
from
level
what
of
we had in
process.
New
Aside from
York.
Aside from
that
Brain Cave,
situation,
yeah.
aside from
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like your content being not controlled, but guided or intervened with, or etc.? How open are you to, somebody writing a song for you or writing part of a song with you or etc.? You know what I mean? Like, especially because like a female artist of your guys who has all these different sonic possibilities.
Mhm. Bags. Yeah.
I feel like, how do you feel about that? Like, would you be open to that kind of stuff? Like, how do you guide? Obviously, like, not a song like WAP, but to come back to the early discussion, like, but just in general, like, it's a different position that you're in now, and the access to would be different. And I'm sure that he knows that you don't just do soca.
No, of course he knows that. He was like, he's the first time he saw me perform, he's like, I can even hear like R&B in your voice. I know you can do other things. And I'm like, it's really nice to meet you at this point in my life because wait till you find out what I just came from before you met me here. So yeah, I'm actually a lot more open now. Back in the day, back when I first started, everything was I needed to prove myself as a writer, as a rapper, my content, da da da. Now, um, it's easier when you can trust. If you have the trust there and you know that you're working with dope writers or your manager has some crazy ideas, if you know that you guys are on the same page from the get-go, like that's what makes me feel like, let me hear your ideas. Or Tash, let's change that line a little bit. I'm like, let me hear your line. Yeah, that works. That works. I'm actually very open compared to how I used to be. I also used to think that, I could do it on my own. We all come into the game thinking that,
Well, that's the hip hop part.
right, you get in, a few years in and you're like, man, I need a team. I need a team.
So here's kind of more of a direct question building off of what you were saying. if your manager was to come with you and say, listen, we started working with this team of writers
Yeah.
and they handed you a hit record,
Yeah.
would you take it?
I would.
All right.
I would. Hell yeah. Whatever's best for the music. I care about what's best for the song.
Because people, and this is just the hip hop again, where it's frowned upon, but the reality is, if you look at anybody who's a global superstar, from Drake to Beyonce to Ariana Grande to whoever you want to name, who's
Taylor,
on that
all of them.
household name status, you think they're writing their songs? You
That's
think
it.
Justin Bieber writes his music? Bro, he shows up to the studio, they play a reference track, and he copies it
It's a boxed song.
word
G.
for word.
Shout
bro.
out
Yeah.
to the Benny Blancos of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was actually a lane that I wanted to get in, but that's another conversation for another day. But I'm glad to hear that you're open to it, because
Yeah.
honestly, it's like, if you're not, you're missing the point.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not hip hop where you're expecting to write every bar. You're making music.
And I did that already, and I proved that already, and I already got credit from my peers, like, yo, she's a dope writer. So I don't feel like I need to, like, I did that already. That's the beautiful thing about being this far into the game at this age, because, like, when you know you don't have to spend so much energy proving anything anymore, you now have the permission to be like, well, what do you want to do, Tash? Let's just have fun. Let's just do it. And shout out to my girl Spice Strings and Things, because she's got me on outfits that she's made. She's from Grenada, and so No Small Small is on a jab rhythm. Jab is a type of rhythm that comes from Grenada. So there's soca and then there's jab.
So it wasn't Soca.
It is
It is
soca,
soca.
but it's a jab
You're
rhythm.
confusing the fuck
It's
out
a
of Steve
it's
right
a
now,
it's
bro.
a kind of rhythm. Like you'll hear it right away when you know it, type thing. So like I'm yes, I'm doing soca, but I got into jab really quickly. And I also found out I have Grenadian roots as well, and that go back to West Africa. So now I'm really exploring, like, bro, we're mix out here now. I have permission to go in any direction I want. But her being from Grenada, she understands what jab music is about. And she has a thick accent. So I have a real Grenadian next to me going, girl, and she could freestyle. Like, we doing shit in the rain the other day. I forget what it was, but it was like, when it comes to rain, da 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 da. I'm throwing a line, she's throwing a line, and we're laughing. And I'm like, bro, I need to get you in the studio. Like, you're telling me I have a writer next to me? This is beautiful. Like, she has the perfect perspective. She knows Grenadian music, right? So having someone like that next to me, she's feeding me what I'm not aware of, right?
Like she's like a muse over there.
Exactly. So I'm super open, like, and it's authentic people in the room with me. So I'm like taking it all and wanting to make them proud, you know?
That's dope.
Yeah.
It is dope, man. I think we're getting to that time of the episode. I gotta shout out Basics one more time. He's he brought something back last episode that we did that we've been forgetting to do for a very long time. So I'm actually gonna give you the pleasure of introducing the segment.
Well, Hustle Podcast always asks their guests to really leave the people with one gem, to drop a gem. If you could leave everybody with one thought, one feeling, doesn't have to be one sentence, but if you could take the gem and if you could hold the gem and then drop the gem on us as to what it is you would like to leave the people with, Natasha Marie, before we sign off, man.
Tash, I just say, if you can look at that camera.
Yes.
Hard camera.
Hard camera.
All right. What's the gem?
Drop the gem.
The gem.
Hustle Podcast, Natasha Marie.
Don't be afraid to change right in front of people. Don't stick to one thing because you identify as that one thing. Be open to knowing that as you grow, you will change, and that's okay, right? So don't feel like you need to explain why you're switching lanes or why nothing. You felt like doing it. That's part of your creative process. They'll either embrace it or not. But either way, you're being true to you and your growth. That's my
I
gem.
love it. Had to stop myself from shedding a tear right there,
Jeez
bro. That shit got me
Louise,
in the
man.
feels,
Yo,
bro.
Basics, don't get
Don't
me
be
emotional in
afraid
here,
to
man.
change in
Yes.
front of others.
In front of, while everyone's watching.
Powerful.
It is powerful, man. Let these beautiful people know, where can they find Natasha Marie, your music, your socials, plug it up.
All right, so I need to do more TikToks, but you guys can follow me on there. Natasha Marie TNT, like explosives, okay? But it's also for Trinidad and Tobago, you understand?
It did stand for
So-
Tech and Tosh at one point.
At one point, and then it was top-notch tracks.
It was top-notch
it
tracks
worked.
at one point,
It
too. It
worked.
did work.
And so I held it because it also works for Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago.
Right. So I'll forever be Natasha Marie TNT on social media. Look me up as Natasha Marie on YouTube. I'm everywhere, either by Natasha Marie or Natasha Marie TNT. So you'll find me.
No. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, once again, shout out to Ball is Life.
Hey, it's
Pink
pretty
Bandit
good.
Vapes. We out.